Good morning. If you want to see how we restored this maple cone back rocker, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Well, good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday 356, week 44 of our 7th year. Today we're going to do a little restoration or maintenance or refinishing, rebuilding, whatever you want to call it, of a cone back rocker. Cone back means that it has, it has a top plate across the top of the back, and it's got spindles coming straight down. Kind of looks like a cone. Well, anyway, the story is I told my buddy I'd been doing, a lot of camping tables and trash cans and this and that, and what I really like to do is restoration, but didn't have any restoration. He says, well, I got an old rocking chair. Take a look at it. So he brought it over, and here we go. So let's knock off the chit-chat and get to work. Here are the tables from last week. Remember, I didn't like them. The legs were too far out on the end, and it made them look really stupid. I got kind of mad, and I said I wasn't even going to finish them. Well, changed my mind. I finished them, moved the legs in, and now they work fine. So that's what you get for being childish. Here's one of them folded up. It turned out okay. Here's a drawing I did of today's project. I do this so I can, I know where all the parts are and how they're situated. Like I know there's 7 spindles back here. And I also need to refresh myself on what everything's called. Chairs have all kinds of different names. These are stretchers. It's a side stretcher. It's a rocker or runner. These are arm spindles. These inner ones here are just called spindles. But then this outer ones here, they can be called a back spindle, back post, or a stile. This top part up here is a crest rail, top slat, or top rail. So anyway, this whole chair is called a comb back, C-O-M-B, back. Cone back chair. If you can kind of see, this is the top of the cone, and here's the teeth on the comb. That's as opposed to the Windsor chairs with the bow back here. Now, if you forget what something's called, don't worry about it, because depending on what reference you look, things get called different things. The different parts are sometimes called a different thing by the type of chair it is. So, you can always justify about anything you call it. Now, the mission for today is to, my buddy wants me to fix this old rocking chair up. It's a cone back rocker. It's actually not too bad a shape. The finish is gone on it. And pretty much all the joints are loose. The glue has failed. You can see the mortise and tenon here coming out. and that's the way it is all the way around. Also, my buddy doesn't like these metal fasteners that hold the arms on. He asked me if maybe I could do something about that. Now here's a good example of kind of maintenance we're talking about. See that joint, see how it comes out? And it's coming out on the other side too. Now I think my buddy wants me to take this screw out and put a dowel through there. But I don't think that would be smart. I don't know the degree to which you can see that, but there's one of those captive bolts there. The bolt goes through and then there's a nut on the other side inside this mortise here. Let's see how hard it is to screw that out. Put a little oil back in there. Gotta be careful with that oil because it'll mess up my glue. And now I'll try to screw this screw out. Now, if my guess is correct, these arm spindles will just come right out. Yep, they do. I can see what's happened is over time, the glue in these spindles has just totally gone away. You can see that these are loose. Well, there's no glue left in any of these joints. So I'm just going to take apart what I can. That right runner had a nail going right through. The head's gone, but the nail goes straight through into the front or the back leg. Well, I got everything demanufactured. There are the stiles, the stretchers over there. Out of all those, out of that whole chair, I only had one good joint right here. All the rest of them just came apart like Tinker Toys. Now these spindle back posts here, these are the ones that the arms are attached to with those captive bolts. They're not real tight. The problem is they're held in with wedges here, and taking them out might be a problem. Let me take a look at them. Yeah, I think trying to take these wedges out would be, you can see where the wedge is right across there. You know, when they drive that wedge in, they basically split that back stile and, you know, to expand it out in the hole. Well, the glue has failed in the joint, but the wedge hasn't failed. So I think trying to take that wedge out of there would be unwise. Now I'm doing these long spindles here for the back. I can't do them in the lathe because they're too crooked. Here's one that's particularly crooked. But they're still pretty easy. I got to make sure that I get the remnants of the old glue off so that my new glue will work. I just don't want to change the diameter of my my tenon. And this, I can just put it up here like this and go up and down. There's all the parts. It looks like this thing is made out of maple, 100% maple. A lot of times they'll make them, the seat will be pine or maple, and then the legs will be oak. But it looks like this whole thing is made out of maple. What I'm doing here is a little dry fit up. I think one of the reasons these things are so strong is because they're even strong without glue. You know, all these parts have a little, almost all of them have a little imperfection or bend in them. And what that does, you know, they're all a little twisted, a little bent. Well, then you put it all together, it kind of, all those bends kind of go together to tighten the thing up. I don't know if they designed it that way or if it just happened, but you kind of twist these things into place and press them together, and they hold pretty good. All right, I think we can maybe do a little more hand sanding and start doing some assembly. Well, I went ahead and put glue in all those joints from that because the dry fit up seemed to be doing fine. So I just squirted some glue on the joints and put her together. What I got to do now is I'm just sanding and going all through it and making sure that I don't have any squeeze out from the joints. You know, so that I have all clean joints. And then I asked my friend what color he wanted, and he wanted it back the same color it was. So we'll stain it back that same color. One of the things you got to watch out for is while I was putting it together, I had a damp rag and I was wiping the glue off and even squirted out. But that's a problem sometimes because you won't see the glue, but it'll be down in the fibers. And then when you try to put some stain on it, you know, you'll have a light space there. So what I'm doing is kind of looking for those places. Well, I think this color is called Golden Pecan. It looks, of course, it's wet now, what it's going to be like when it's dry. Does that look like the right color? Of course, this is the bottom, and I didn't, the bottom was not, it's not finished. Well, here it is so far. It's getting late. I think I'll let the stain dry overnight, check it out in the morning, and then maybe put some polyurethane on it. Well, I came back this morning and put a coat of poly on it. Now it's dry, and I'm going to put a second coat on it because it really soaked it up. And then we'll take a look at it. This is an indoor piece, so I'm not going to put spar urethane on it. Okay, we'll take a look at it once I get this coat of varnish on it. Well, there we have it, our rocking chair progress project for Memphis Monday 356. I wish we'd had more damage. You know, I feel like I'm cheating. All we did was take it apart, strip the finish off of it, and glue it back together. There wasn't anything broken, just failed glue. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 356. It's 44th week of year 7. Now, I said a little bit in the outro there that you know, I feel like I'm cheating because this thing wasn't you know, damaged. The last rocking chair we did, let's see, I think we upholstered it, but the arm is broken off, and we had to reconnect it with a spline joint or dowel or something. Another one we restored, we had to take one of the mortise, one of the tenons, and drill it out and put a new tenon in it. But we didn't have to do any of that for this. All we had to do is take it apart like Tinker Toys and then glue it all back together, and it came out perfect. So anyway, sometimes you know, sometimes you get the bear, like I said last week, sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. All right. Can't think of anything else. Like, favorite, share, all stuff to you on the internet. Most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.